Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Paranormal Pete Show. I'm your host, Pete Orbea. We're on Let's Talk Radio, WLTK-DB, and .com, I should say, .com. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/WLTK-DB. Pretty much anywhere you go and type in /WLTK-DB, you'll find us on Facebook, all over the place. And gosh, I think this is episode 27, July 13th. And I want to wish a happy National French Fry Day for French fry fans out there. And also Embrace Your Geekness Day today. So, I thought that was every day, but maybe I was wrong. But embrace your geekness today. And here on episode 27, and thanks for the continued support. My Facebook page at facebook.com/Paranormal Pete Show is growing. So thanks everybody for the support. It's very humbling, and it's fun to get to do this and talk to some of my friends in the paranormal field on a weekly basis and talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Next week, I've got Clay Faulkner coming on the show, a special guest, and he does all kinds of readings. Palm reading. I think he does runes, tarot. He does all kinds of readings, and he's going to put me on the spot and I think do a reading for me live on the show. So that should be pretty interesting. Hopefully it doesn't make him insane afterwards. He said he's going to cast a reading for me earlier in the day, and then we'll talk about it during the show. So I'm looking forward to that on next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then the following Tuesday, I've got medium Sarah Lemos from Ghost of Morgan City and a TV show. And she's got an interesting story herself, and she does a lot of interesting work. So really stoked to have her on. So we've got a fun month of July here for you. And then we'll be moving into August, and I'll be announcing shows coming up in August. I got some ones I'm really excited about. So keep your eyes on the Facebook page for when that comes out. And tonight, I want you all to go to WLTK-DB.com. We've got a new look to the website. We're kind of changing formats a little bit, more on the video side. So if you have been following the show for some time, you've seen some video streaming changes. But definitely go check out the new look website, WLTK-DB.com. And check out all the shows. There's a ton of good shows on the station every week. So go check out. You can catch all the archive shows. I know it's hard to catch shows live, but it's definitely easy to catch the archive. And you can find us pretty much everywhere you get your favorite podcast. And we're even on Audible, on Amazon as well. So we're making it really easy for you to find us. And we hope you'll tell your friends and share with your friends, and bring an open mind every week to Let's Talk Radio. And there's also a bunch of new merchandise too you can get to support the station. Why not support a small station? Let's grow it. Let's make it big. So go ahead and go get your new merch there as well. I've got a new t-shirt coming, so hopefully I'll have that next week on the show, and I can show it off to you guys. Another aspect to the show, we like interaction. So if you want to comment and join the conversation, whether you're on the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, go ahead and comment. Each week when I've got a special guest on, it's great to have questions from the audience, and maybe bring in another perspective. And put me on the spot. Well, don't put me on the spot, but let's have some fun anyways. But yeah, so join the conversation by joining the chat function. And tonight I've got a friend of the show, and I've known her for a long time. She's been on the show before, but we're very happy to have her back tonight. It's Miss June Nixon from AGHOST in Seattle. Welcome, June.
Hi, Pete.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming back on the show.
Well, thanks for having me back on the show. And I was going to ask, is there a reason that you had me on an Embrace Your Geekness Day?
That was not pre-planned.
Just
I'll be honest. I didn't know it was Embrace Your Geekness Day until about 15 minutes ago. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Aw.
So, but thanks for coming back on. And June's been a great friend to the show. And also the Port Gamble Ghost Conference, which I should also mention is coming up November 5th through 7th. And if you're interested in being a speaker or a class presenter or a vendor at the conference, go to portgamble.com/ghost conference. And you'll find the page there. I've got the speaker and class applications along with the vendor applications out there. And if anybody has any questions during the show, you can throw them in there and I'll try and answer them for you. But go to portgamble.com/ghost conference and you can see the applications. And
Wait.
yeah, it's gonna be in person, and it's gonna be weird and cool to see everybody.
Right. Exactly.
I haven't really seen anybody for almost 2 years, I guess.
Yeah. Truthfully, at least in person.
Yeah. And I noticed online there's a lot of Paracons and ghost conferences, coming back all over the country.
Right.
So I think that's a nice sign of good things to come. And I'll continue to put this out there on the show. If you attend a ghost conference somewhere, whether it's the United States, Canada, or Europe, put it in the comments. And if I see that, I'll be sure to mention it, help promote conferences because they're such a great place to meet other people with open minds and meet great skeptics as well. And just, it's a good place to just hear other points of view, or maybe it's points of view that you thought were crazy, but maybe hearing from other people about them, maybe you won't feel so weird or think you're crazy. So they're just a lot of fun. You can meet a lot of great people in the paranormal field. And, I sure hope that our conference and all the other ones are, we're all trying to advance the field in some way. And networking is a great way to do that. And the conferences are the facility for that. So if you have a conference you love to go to, put it in the comments and we'll be sure to mention that for you. Well, June is from Advanced Ghost Hunters of Seattle and Tacoma. And they've been around since, 2000?
Correct. Yep. 2000.
Wow.
Ross Allison actually, started it in 2000, and we're the kind of the longest continuously running ghost hunting group in the Pacific Northwest. So,
yeah, even through COVID.
Yeah. We were very careful. Even a lot of things that we did do. If we thought, okay, we think we can do this investigation, but I'm sorry, the family's got to wear masks. We're wearing masks.
Yeah.
It's like, and if we can just kind of stay away from each other, basically, and make sure we wash our hands a lot and use the hand sanitizer. So we were very careful, but we really cut down on investigations, unless the people were just like, please help us. I was like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, and for your safety and our safety. So
and that's all thing. Yeah, that's all you could really do anyways. Now that so we're up here in Washington State, and for those listening outside the state, with everything kind of opening back up, are you guys getting a lot of calls now for things that have been going on for the past year, but they, thought maybe they shouldn't call, but now are you guys getting an increase in that?
We are. We have been getting, a lot of calls. We're still not rushing into a lot of residential investigations. One thing too, it's like you're going to somebody's personal space, and we ask people not to do any cleaning or anything like that, because we want the environment the same. Basically, when we go in, we want the environment the way it usually is, I guess you'd say. And so that's another thing too. We kind of think, let's we have been to places that have been a little hoarding situations, and
Yeah.
Maybe it's the ghost of the dead cat that's underneath all the magazines in the back. I'm just kidding.
That almost sounds
But-
like personal experience,
Yeah, so we won't talk about
team
that.
experience, so we won't talk about that. Yeah.
No, but yeah, we still aren't rushing into doing anything. We have been doing, some businesses that are pretty large businesses, and so we can spread out pretty well and everything. But and we just got back from St. Ignatius Hospital in Colfax, Washington. So
How was that?
that was really, really fun, really cool. So we had our nice little overnight trip down there. So.
Okay, and are you guys are you allowed to talk about it, or?
Oh yeah, I mean it was kind of it was brought. They are doing public ghost hunts down there, but it was kind of cool because one of our team members, Melissa, actually saw it, and she was like, "Hey, let's get our team to buy up all the tickets, so we can go there and just investigate as a team." So it worked out really well. So it was just kind of a fun,
Right on.
thing that we did and everything. It was a little hot. It was like 106.
Oh,
So, I only lasted for like 2 floors and was like, I think I'm going to go look at the monitors for a while. And then,
yeah. Oh man, that can really help. I would imagine. Yeah, no worries.
It's my asthma. I swear it's not the Rona. So just
Okay.
saying that.
Yeah,
just wanted to put that out there.
For those with allergies out there, I don't know if you have allergies, but man,
Crazy.
it's been rough and weird this year with allergies.
Yeah, it's like there's a lily blooming out there that just, has my name on it. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I've coughed a few times in public and been kind of like, oh, geez, everyone thinks I'm going to have corona. Or, I'm going to have COVID. No, it's just allergies.
I swear, I promise. But yeah, it was a great time, great investigation, and
Yeah.
it was just a lot of fun, being in person with my team. So I just love those people.
Yeah. Well, and for those who aren't in Washington and maybe you're in drier places, 106 might not seem that bad to you, but 106 up here probably feels like 126 wherever you're at. So
especially when you don't have air conditioning in your house or things like that. So it was pretty brutal in Seattle, especially when it hit, what was it, 111 in Seattle?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think was that record breaker. I don't think.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was, and I think we even hit 100 here in Port Gamble, which is
really some because you're by the water.
We're right off the water, so it was like 112 in Paulsbo, which is about 10 minutes south of here. So, man, yeah. Well, investigating in that kind of heat, I mean, I would imagine I would lose focus.
Well, I was like
that hot.
really trying to summon spirits to me to bring their cold spots. Bring your cold spot to me.
I never thought about that. Nothing. Oh, come on.
Well, the first floor actually was pretty cool. It was very nice and cool, and it's kind of shut up, and there's not a lot of windows and things like that down there. So it was pretty cool. And down in the old morgue was very cool. We had to wear masks because it was really, really dusty and really, just that was pretty bad. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. But like I said, you get above the second and third floor and on up to the 5th floor. It's like, oh yeah, ooh, that's okay. I'll just be down in the 1st floor for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if there's one good thing out of COVID for paranormal investigating is we'll all have masks more handy.
Yeah.
For going into those creepy crawly places that may have mildew, mold.
Honestly, I have not been very good about that. Going into some of these places that have mold, things like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But that's not smart. I really should have been, especially with my lungs and everything else, and
Right.
asthma issues. That's really not smart. So yeah, it is a really good thing, to have your masks on when you go into those places, and because you never know what you're going to be breathing in.
Yeah, and we've all got them handy now. They're a little more handy, and throw them in your bag, people, if you're out investigating. Make
Yeah,
sure
I
you take
even
a
got a
mask with you.
respirator now, so it's like, okay, I've got a respirator, I've got it all.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. You just can't be too safe, going into places, and I'm going to try and make sure I do a conscious effort to be good about that as well. So yeah. Well, did you have any personal experiences?
Um, there, I did not have any personal experiences. A few
Mhm.
people had some strange things happen. Felt like I think Tammy felt like she had been touched or something, kind of went on,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, there were bats.
I hate
you know,
bats.
it's one of those things where it's like, what's that noise? Oh my God, something's coming towards me. Oh, it's a bat. Nothing paranormal. Damn you, bat.
I know.
So,
Or is it a vampire? Who knows?
yeah, make it more interesting. But
Yeah.
it's like when you're walking around in the dark and you feel that whoosh beside your ear, or it's coming
Oh
right at
yeah.
your face, and then all of a sudden you feel it just veer to the side. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, when they're buzzing the tower.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that. And funny side story. Sure, my family over the weekend camping, somebody asked one of my kids, "What do you call bat droppings?" And she said guano. And then the other kids said, "Oh, I thought you were going to say guacamole."
Oh no, please don't ruin guacamole for me.
Yeah. So we got a comment from Tavia. I hope I said that right. One time I had a bat in my attic and my brother hit it with a pillow and it landed unconscious in my lap. Wild experience. Yeah, no thanks. And that comes in from Twitch. So thanks for following on Twitch and commenting. Yeah, no thanks. No knocked
Yeah.
out bats in my lap. That's it.
It's like the investigation at Preston Castle.
I've heard there's
Bat
a ton of
heaven.
bats. Yeah. And so was it as that hot when you investigated there? When you visited there?
I guess I just love I guess I was just love that place so much. It was very hot there, yeah.
Hmm.
Because that is in
It's an Ione, right?
Ione. Yeah, I was like thinking it's like, oh, it's close to San. This is what happens when you get old.
It's
Yeah,
I will make no comment to that.
it's California. It's very
Yeah, it's like Central
hot.
California, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
And graveyards there, of course, have palm trees and lizards running around. So you're in kind of a desert area.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, it's pretty
We
awesome.
have you ever had a lizard on your investigations?
No, I have to say, not really. No, not.
We Okay. Yeah, we had one here in the Walker Ames basement.
Really? Oh,
Well, it was a salamander.
that's right. I
We
remember. I think we did see a salamander down there one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was down. I had a group of people, and I think it was on a tour, and we were in the basement. And we heard kind of a like a shuffling. Looked over, and there's a salamander, and the thing freaking puffed its chest up at us and like hissed, like it was going to
Oh,
take us on or something. I was like, "Whoa, hey, take it easy there, little fella."
Aw. They are cute though. Yeah.
Yeah,
And all
yeah.
your frogs out in the back.
Oh man, yeah, and the frogs. So here at the Walker Ames, March, April, when I do public investigations and ghost walks, the frogs just get out of hand. But I just so love when you say, if there's anybody here with us, can you make the frogs stop? And then they all stop.
That was the best. That was the best thing either. I actually found that recording of us doing that.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to send that to you.
Yeah. Oh man. And then you got to stop and wonder. All right. Well, it probably
Was that
wasn't.
paranormal? That was a major coincidence.
Probably not paranormal, but one
It
hell of
was
a
funny.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always great. Well, so we're gonna pay the station bills here, and we're gonna take a quick station break. It's 19 past the hour here on Let's Talk Radio. It's the Paranormal Pete Show. I'm your host, Pete Orbea, here with June Nixon. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the cool places June has been here in Washington State. There's so much great paranormal locations, or I should say, active locations here in Washington, and they're not all in Seattle. So June's going to tell us about some of those when we come back here on the Paranormal Pete Show on Let's Talk Radio. Thanks.
A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold. Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pete Show here on Let's Talk Radio, WLTK-DB.com, and also on YouTube /WLTK-DB, and Facebook on the same thing. So if you want to send in a comment, join the conversation with me and special guest June Nixon from AGHOST over in Seattle, comment away. We may not have an answer, but we'll certainly try. So, June, before we get into some of the other haunted locations that you've been to here in Washington, AGHOST has an event coming up in August at the USS Turner Joy, and you guys have done a lot of public investigations there. Tell us a little bit about it, and are you excited that it's coming back?
Oh, it is. Actually, it's already, we did our first one back at the beginning of July. So it's like, that was right. The first one. Actually, the first one I think was even in June. But this is actually through spookedinseattle.com. So spookedinseattle.com, they have public ghost hunts. And hopefully they're going to offer a couple of overnights on the USS Turner Joy, because that ship is incredible. It's an old naval destroyer in Bremerton. It is really cool. We've had so many things happen on that ship. Right. Great EVPs, some hearing footsteps, hearing bangs, hearing whistling, hearing, voices, and it's just incredible. So yes. It's such a cool place. And our good friend Michael White just popped in to say hello on Facebook there. Thanks for listening, Michael. Good to see your profile picture. Can't wait to see you in person. Michael's been a guest on the show, a good friend of the show, and the Port Gamble Ghost Conference too, and just an all-around great guy. But thanks for stopping in. We'll have to get Michael back on the show. He's one of those good skeptics you'll meet. At a ghost conference. The USS Turner Joy, June mentions, in Bremerton, Washington, and it's been a museum since the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, and I think it was commissioned 1959 to 1982, so it served in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And was in the Gulf of Tonkin at the start of Vietnam and actually responded to the first shots fired in Vietnam. And any ship, whether a lot of action was seen or not, any ship seems to bring people back to it.
Yeah. And there are several crew members who were killed on the ship, by accidents and things like that. But I also know that the ship picked up people who shipwrecks and things like that. They would bring them on ship. So who knows how many people died, just being brought on the ship and things like that. But
right.
But yeah, over the years, it's a pretty amazing place, and the museum, it's museum quality just to look at all the artifacts in there. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, and I think that's coming up August 12th. I saw. So go to spookedinseattle.com if anyone's interested in going to that. And it's
pretty awesome.
Those kind of things are a don't miss. I think with the crew you guys have. Running the investigations and stuff, I think it's well worth anybody's time to, if you don't really know much, it's a great place. You guys teach people the basics of paranormal investigating and equipment and stuff like that. So I know you guys are very thorough. So if anybody out there, you're looking for something cool to do, make a trip out to Bremerton, go to spookedinseattle.com and get your tickets for that. Because
it's kind of fun too for people who don't really, want to, be crazy obsessive like me and join a group and get really into the paranormal. If you just want a really fun, spooky time, especially on an old naval destroyer, it's like you can't get from that. So
and you have a really good chance of experiencing something in that sort of location. So if you're looking to experience something,
it's pretty amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
We could probably talk the whole time just about the USS Turner.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about it. Not everybody is obsessed as June to run a team as well. So.
Well, yeah, Ross and I both, we run the team together. So he's pretty amazing. He really knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
You guys are crazy. We're not even going to get into Mr. Creepy and the dolls tonight.
Yeah. Okay. We won't talk about
we don't need to get into the dolls tonight.
He's now back at the new location of Spooked in Seattle on Yesler Way over in Pioneer Square. So he's got his own little place now. He's out of my bedroom.
Well, when I come over and oh my God, he was in your bedroom? Yeah. Oh no, June.
I did have to turn him the other way though, just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't want to traumatize him by, changing in front of him.
Yeah.
He's now haunted for life.
He's the one that's traumatizing, I think. I don't know. I'm usually okay with haunted objects and stuff, but with this one particular doll, Mr. Creepy. And I tell the story all the time of how I swear his head turned and looked at me at at the Oregon Ghost Conference. I had a booth across the walkway there, and he freaking turned his head and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh no!" I'm questioning myself here, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that thing just moved.
He does have the hair, from the ventriloquist that owned him. So he has his hair. So they think that the spirit of the ventriloquist is still hanging around inside Mr. Creepy.
Oh, I don't know if the audience can hear my goosebumps. But maybe some other people are getting them too. That's just okay. Back to the USS Turner Joy and fun stuff.
Yes.
So June, you mentioned that crew members had died during accidents. They picked up shipwrecks and people that were probably injured, kind of on their last breaths, their last bit of energy and things like that. Based on your experience, is the activity more tied with U.S. naval sailors, or is there kind of some random things that kind of show up during investigations?
I personally, I think it's more tied to the sailors. There was one incident that a couple of the ladies were in the restroom and they were talking, and all of a sudden they got this great EVP that said, "Hey, sweetie." I mean, it's a great EVP. It's very loud, and there were two ladies, and it's a male voice that says, "Hey, sweetie." So it's like, how do you explain that? For people who, but
Right.
unless somebody is there and captures it themselves, and um, you know, if you capture it yourself, that's the only way, a skeptic is going to be able to believe in that. So, you could say till you're blue in the face that there wasn't any guy or anybody else, around that area, but
Right.
but yeah.
If you're presenting the evidence to a skeptic, it's one of those you got to have, and that's a lot of paranormal investigating.
Yeah.
The investigating part, not necessarily the data collection and the data review portion of paranormal investigation, but the investigating part is you got to have those experiences. And well, I guess that's what keeps us all going is having those experiences. And I've told the story before. Investigator friend, I won't name her by name, but she was in the bathroom there on the USS Turner Joy and started to go and caught an EVP of a man saying, "Oh yeah."
So something's hanging out in that bathroom. Like, ooh.
There's a creeper in that bathroom. So ladies, don't go in there alone. Go in there with somebody and keep your audio going no matter
even if you're peeing,
how revealing it is. Yes. Because you'll probably get something really cool. So you think it's mostly tied to the sailors there?
Well, not only I guess we'd say former people that used to be alive, but all that residual energy that's on that ship. I mean, wartime is, I can't even think how horribly stressful it is, thinking at any second you could die, a torpedo or something hit the ship. I mean, you just never know. But all of that energy and that negative, terrified feeling.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of those young, and most of those young guys, 18, 19, 20, years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just, I can't even imagine. But, having that terrified, feelings on that ship, I think a lot of it could be residual. We have had intelligent answers, like you said, like the "Hey, sweetie," or the "Oh yeah." Please. But, you slap them. But it's like hearing footsteps, hearing doors slam. One time we heard of, somebody whistling, and I was thinking, oh my God, that is so rude. That somebody is just whistling going down the hallway. And I was getting a little mad that it was one of the team. And I thought, what in the hell is wrong with them? They know they're not supposed to do this. And then I find out, nobody else is even close to us. So whoever it was that walked down the hallway whistling was not anyone on our team. And the gates are locked, so nobody can come in, the ship when we're investigating it. So yeah.
Did you hear the footsteps?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So it really did sound like somebody walking down the hallway.
Yeah,
then.
And we were mad. I was there with one of my other teammates, and we were like there, and I looked at her and I was like, why is somebody, walking so heavy and whistling? And she's like, oh my God, I don't know. And so, I get up, I'm all incensed, and I look out there. I said, well, they're gone. They're not there now. And then, of course, we,
thought about it.
Yeah. Call down there, and it's like, okay, where is everybody? And then find out they're on the whole, other side of the ship down below, and nobody was up. And so, walking. So it's
Which part of the ship were you in at that time?
We were in the captain's little cafeteria. That little one is like right in the middle of the ship, has the little couches and the knots and everything else on the wall. So we were kind of their little cafeteria for them specifically. So we were kind of in the middle of the ship in the main area. So
not really close enough. Yeah.
Not too far from the crew cafeteria. Or whatever it's called. It's not really called a cafeteria, but
right.
In Navy lingo, it's
the galley.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. So with us being there and then finding out that everybody else is way down the other side, down below, and nobody was even close to us, and it's just like okay. But we had so many other experiences like that. I remember one time, my friend Medea and I and Lisa Warner we had stayed up all night on the ship, and this was years and years ago. And we were sitting there, and I was looking down the hallway, and I'm seeing somebody moving in the hallway down there. And all of a sudden, I kind of look over, and I see Medea squinting, like she's watching somebody. And I look back, and I see Lisa, and all of us are thinking, because it's 5 o'clock in the morning, that we're individually seeing things. My eyes are playing tricks on me. We didn't realize all three of us were looking at the same thing, walking down there. And then all of a sudden we realized there's somebody walking down there. It was a black shadow walking down there. So all of a sudden we go down there. There's nobody there. Nobody is down in that area. Everybody else had gone to sleep, basically, in the little area where they were allowed to sleep. So yeah, that was pretty funny, because we're all just like, what is that? Somebody's walking down there. Well, who is that? And then you're like, maybe my eyes are just playing tricks on me. And it's like, oh, nope.
Or it's just an incredible case of all three of you having the same pareidolia.
Exactly.
But who knows? And we did get some clarification from Michael White, because he's a veteran, and thanks to you for your service, Michael. That it's the crew mess. That's it. It's not the galley. It's the crew mess. The galley's where the cooks are. Now, I think I've heard before from other people that at one point they actually housed some bodies in the freezer or in the fridge area there in the ship, which I'm guessing is in the galley.
Yes. And if you did come on the ship to one of the ghost hunts, Ross actually will go through a lot of those stories, for you too. So it's pretty interesting, very interesting, the history of the ship, and then all the experiences that are going on. So yeah, we've heard some things coming from the kitchen area. We've heard as many times as I've been on that ship, and I've been on the ship alone several times too. When we were doing a Halloween event there a few years ago.
Okay.
And I was on the ship by myself several times, and I was hearing somebody, walking down towards me. I'm like, oh, good. Finally, somebody else is here. And no, nobody else is here. And I realized, how could anybody else be here? Because the gate's still locked, and they're supposed to call me when they get here so I can go down and unlock the gate and let them in.
Oh, geez.
So I was like, oh, God. I kept saying, okay, just let me hang up let me hang up these streamers or whatever. And just let me do this, please.
Yep. Let me go about my business.
Let me turn the radio up a little higher. So right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So go to spookedinseattle.com if you want to join their next public ghost hunt there at the USS Turner Joy. Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity to have an experience or collect a really interesting piece of data. An EVP or maybe disembodied voice. So go check that out.
Yeah, just being on that ship and the history around you is worth it. Especially, being there late at night and everything. So
I want to come investigate with you guys. I think that'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
Well, let's cruise around Washington here a little bit.
Okay.
So,
cruise.
Yeah, we're going to cruise to Centralia.
Yes.
And talk about your favorite place that you've investigated in Centralia and kind of where it is. It's, south and central, I
Yeah,
guess,
kind of
Washington.
south of Olympia. You just keep going past Olympia. Maybe another 45 minutes to an hour past Olympia
Yeah.
on that way if you're going south from Seattle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got a call and they asked us if it was a few years ago, if we could help out with their Halloween tour, their walking tour. So they were going to take people to some of the haunted places and they want to talk about some of the experiences there. Really good for their town. So they're really trying to do all they can to, for their town.
Mm-hmm.
And which you understand about that, Pete.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. But so they asked us if we'd like to investigate some of these places so we'd have, a little more to talk about during the ghost walks.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved all the places that we did, but my favorite is the Shady Lady. Now, the Shady Lady is an antique store. And excuse me. Like I said, it's my asthma. But the Shady Lady is an antique store in Centralia.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly has made a bordello museum upstairs on the top floor. So for a little donation, you can go through there and it's really cool. She's gotten a lot of old artifacts and clothing.
Oh,
wow. Just all sorts of really cool stuff. She's made a little chapel there too. You can also get married in there if you want to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And but yeah, that place we had so many different things happen, EVPs in there. You don't know if it's like the place itself or something is attached to some of the artifacts that she has there. But footsteps walking down the hallway when nobody's there. We got an EVP of some guy. I don't even know we don't know what he said, but he's very like, rah, 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 rah. And but one of the stories, because she has her children are stay there every once in a while too, and so they kind of live there sometimes. And one of the stories is when they first moved in and her boys were on that floor. All of a sudden, they were talking about some of the ghosts. They felt that it was haunted and all this other stuff. And while the guys were talking about it, all of a sudden they heard like bam, 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 bam on the door. And both of them screamed and they were like, ah! So of course, one of them's like, okay, Mom, cut it out, because they thought she was playing a joke on him.
Right.
And she wasn't even there.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, I could see where they would think the mom was playing a trick on him if they're talking about spooky stuff.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me while I cough some more.
Yeah, it's okay. So, well, this sounds like an interesting place. Is it... Is the building itself historical? Is it newer? Oh, it is.
No,
okay.
It is historical. So.
Okay.
So yes. Sorry, my allergies are kicking me.
Mine have been kicking my rear end too. No worries. What?
Yes, it is a historical building.
It is a historical building. So, what was it before? Do you know much about what the building was before?
Oh my gosh, I did at one time. Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
It's okay. CRS.
Yeah, I swear. It's so sad.
Well, I don't know much. I don't really know much about Centralia itself. But there was a lot of activity there, like right around, late 1800s, early 1900s, right? I mean, there's the McMenamins pub there, the Olympic pub. There's
there too, but
bootleggers, raiders, all kinds. So the town, sounds like it was a bit of a rough and tumble place.
Really was. They had a lot of things there. There was a massacre there. I can't remember all the details, but if you Google it, Centralia Massacre, it will come up too. So a lot of those places. We also got to investigate the old Fox Theater there. What's really cool about that is they were redoing it, so all of the seats, everything have been pulled out, and they're just gutting the inside. I am so excited to see what it's going to look like when they have it all fixed up and everything. But
yeah, oh, that sounds cool.
Are beautiful though.
Yeah, and I wonder if so when you investigated there, they had it all torn up. Did the people that work there or own the place feel like there was more activity because there was all this stuff going on?
The man that owned it, he really does not believe in anything paranormal.
Okay.
But he was like, well, you can check it out just to see. So he was like, I don't believe it. But we it really had some interesting things. This older couple that kind of are caretakers of it and kind of watch out after it. I think his name's Conrad, and he was telling some of the stories of a vacuum cleaner just kind of rising up and being thrown at him down the steps and almost hitting him, and all this stuff. And he's a pretty believable guy. You get to know him, but we were in the theater, and all of a sudden, I mean, we felt like we were being surrounded by something. I look up at the stage, and it looked like there was a shadow moving on the stage.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, we felt like something was circling us, and we were all just like looking around. And I'm not the kind of person that gets really paranoid or gets really upset or anything. I'm pretty level-headed, and usually it's like I try to look for a logical explanation because I am, a skeptic at heart, although I have a very open mind about a lot of things. But I guess you could say I'm borderline skeptic. But when we were in there, I started getting a little freaked out. And so finally, because we were all just like looking around and getting really nervous, I was like, okay, let's get out, regroup, take some deep breaths, and then we'll go back in. Because it was getting a little too much for us, which is really something to say.
Yeah.
And, after that, it seemed to, calm down. And we were just like, hey, if you're here, we're not, here to cause, any harm. We're not trying to get rid of you. We just want to know if you're here and, listen to your story, basically, and why you're still here. And then they made me sing. Because it used to be an old opera house. So, I tried to sing some old opera.
And how'd that go?
They didn't throw anything at me. So
there's no ghost tomatoes.
There's no ghost tomatoes. I was waiting for them. I was like, oh no, bricks falling on my head or something from the balcony. Ah!
Oh no.
No. But we really didn't get any responses from it, but it was pretty fun. I like to do things like that, though. Just try to be a trigger object.
Why not? Why not? So when I'm kind of interested about. So when you guys all felt like you were being kind of circled, were people getting feelings? I mean, was it like you were getting kind of that pit in your stomach?
Yeah,
or
that's exactly it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm as bad as psychic as a turnip. And I don't know how psychic turnips are, but
they are a pretty psychic vegetable. So.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
They're at the top of the psychic vegetable food chain.
Yes.
But yeah, we were feeling. I mean, I was just a little overcome. Like something was, and it wasn't like, oh my God, it's an evil presence. It was just feeling like something was circling us, and I was just getting uneasy for some reason. And I tried to listen to those things, and I was like, because we all were feeling that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were picking up on me, on my, all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap. And it's like, okay, let's regroup. We got to regroup. Let's get out of here for a second. Breathe. Right. Go into the light for a little bit. But, the regular
Ye-
light, not go into the light.
How many did the team? Did you and the team kind of have a sense? Did it seem like it was one entity or multiple entities?
Well, it seemed like there might have been several. Like I said, I don't know if it was intelligent or if there was just something in there that,
Mhm.
I really don't know. But we were all feeling really uneasy and
Yeah,
feeling crowded, which was kind of strange. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
My
what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, my guess, and it's just a speculation, would be that it would have been multiple entities because I think it would be hard for one entity unless they've got the Nintendo cheat codes for how to use that energy
Yeah.
more.
Unless it's the ghost of the Flash, circling
Yeah,
really fast.
yeah, exactly.
What the heck?
It seems like that would take an awful lot of energy to make a group of people in a in a theater. It's not like it was in like a bedroom,
Right.
like a contained,
Yeah.
small area. It seems like to me it would take a lot of
Yeah.
energy to make
There
all the
were no
turnips,
seats.
make all the turnips feel it,
Exactly. There were no seats in there. There was a bulldozer in there. I mean, it's like everything's torn up. There's piles of dirt,
Mhm.
everywhere, and
Interesting.
all of us kept thinking we were seeing shadows, and
Yeah.
but yeah, it was pretty amazing. I can't wait to see what they do when it's completely finished.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool. Yeah, and I'll say to everybody listening out there, when June says she's getting a little freaked out, there's something strong is happening.
Yeah. Because I don't get freaked out hardly ever. I mean, I could give
Yeah.
you a handful of times I've been freaked out, So
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. When are they supposed to have it all done?
well, it was supposed to be last year.
Well, then, yeah,
So
COVID.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked lately, but I know it was supposed to be last year and then COVID. So I
Yeah.
don't know how long they put it on hold and how much they have left to do or anything. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be an amazing place. But if you want to check out Centralia, it's a cute little town. Great little ghost stories. Go in the Shady Lady and ask the ladies behind the counter about their ghost stories, and they love to tell about their ghost stories.
Oh,
So
that's
it's really
cool.
fun. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
great.
Holly's
Yeah.
amazing.
Please support your small town ghost tours, things like that. And not being selfish, but I do ghost walks here in Port
Yes,
Campbell, which is a
it's
small
awesome.
town.
Yeah.
But there's lots of great stories, kind of really, no matter where you go, I don't know so much about new communities, but older communities, maybe historic places, there's always little stories in there. Of course, you want to be careful. Um, Michael White says, my nurse tells me it's time for bed. Good night, friends.
Good
Great
night,
show.
Michael.
Good night, Michael. Thanks for listening. We're going to have you back on the show. We'll talk about skepticism in the paranormal with Michael. Love talking to that guy. Thanks for listening, man. But yeah, you got to be careful, about just going in and asking people about ghost stories. But it's kind of funny that the antique upcycling shop here in Port Gamble, they will tell their ghost stories too. So
I've been to a place where I asked about the ghost stories, and she practically threw me out because she was like, "We don't want your kind in here." Yeah.
So man, yeah,
Seriously.
you gotta be careful, feel it out, And oddly enough, the place here in Port Gamble, you're talking about the shady lady. The place here in Port Gamble is the Painted Lady.
Oh,
A very haunted location as well.
I love it.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah. Check out Centralia. There's lots of cool stuff there. Check out if they're doing ghost walks. I know I've got mine coming up. I've been so busy I haven't gotten new dates up yet, but pretty much you can always count on every Friday and Saturday in October plus Halloween. And then I'll
really
do
fun.
Yeah, thanks. And then I'll do one once per month from November through April. And then I'd start my special public investigations here at the Walker Ames house where I'm at tonight
Yeah, I keep trying to look behind you to see if there's
I know.
somebody walking down the steps there.
I keep looking too, and I've got a tri-field meter set up over here.
Oh, awesome.
About 6 feet away from me, and it hasn't done much yet. So, other than I think reading some electrical wires in the wall. So yeah, no, support your small town
Yes.
ghost tours, and also shoot the Seattle ones, Spooked in Seattle. Support those too.
Well, they're starting up again soon.
Starting up again soon. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. And wherever you're at, wherever you're listening from, just check out your local, Chamber of Commerce, maybe, or just Google what's in your town, as far as ghost walks. But go hear the stories. So there's a lot of incredible stories out there.
Well, July 17th, actually, they're going to have Spooked is going to have a grand open house in their new area there on Yesler.
When is that?
That is the 17th, July 17th. That's this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Heck yeah! That's already this Saturday.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Saturday from like 1 to 5. So if you're around that area, go check them out. It's a tiny little space now. Unfortunately, they lost their large space that they had for a long time with they could spread out their death museum, but now they got a lot of the little death museum artifacts and things like that, kind of along the walls there, so you can still see a lot of the things. But
so you can be in a smaller space with Mr. Creepy.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Great.
You can only
awesome.
be 6 inches away from him when you walk in. So
oh no.
And my Barbie funeral is up, so I have my Barbie funeral set up. So
nice.
That's
awesome.
Awesome.
That's really cool. Well, there's another place I wanted to talk to you about, and it's a location I haven't been to either. And as what I do in investigating more so now, from a psychic standpoint, it's kind of cool that I don't know a lot of these places. And I'll hear some stories and stuff, but I'm a scatterbrain, so whatever, I'll probably forget. But
I'm joining your club, so very.
But I thought I was joining your club.
Yeah, I guess so. You're in my club too. We're in each other's club.
But I wanted to talk to you, June, about the Stanwood Hotel and Saloon.
Oh yeah,
that was built.
Yeah.
Another small town, Stanwood, Washington, north. It's up north, right? It's up north.
Yep. Right.
And this place was built in 1890. And gosh, this place has kind of a wild history too. Tell us a little bit about the Stanwood and kind of what made you guys get up there and investigate.
Well, actually, this was it kind of started with my old group that I was in before I was in a ghost.
Okay.
So it kind of started with Northwest Paranormal Research Group. And my friend Todd, who was the leader of our group, and sadly he passed away from cancer. Everything's just.
I just met Jay.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I just met Jay in person a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, he's really a sweetheart. And so, it was really something because Todd got really obsessed with the Stanwood Hotel and Saloon and would go up there a lot.
Okay.
And there were just so many things that happened there. We got some great EVPs, and a lot of the EVPs that we got were of children. And what's really interesting is a few of the other groups that were kind of around that area that investigated that place, they also got EVPs of children.
Okay.
And which is really cool, and which I wish more groups would do more of that, and compare some of the evidence that they got at different places, because it blew our minds to hear almost the same voices or the same kind of type of EVP that we got at that place. But no, the Stanwood Hotel and Saloon, it was kind of set up to be a hotel / brothel. And it was, it was pretty. For a long time, it was pretty, very busy. Let's just say. Okay. And then, probably in the late 60s and 70s, it just started falling into disrepair. Turned into a flop house. really, horrible circumstances. People, would just, go there, drug house, everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
And then Marilyn Guthrie came in and bought the place and slowly started fixing it up. I mean, they had like dump trucks filled with trash, getting, this place out of there. So she has done wonders for this place. And it's been, a couple of years since I've been there, but just an amazing place. And there have been, some rooms that she's finished and she's got that you can actually, rent a room and stay there overnight, and, just really cute little rooms. And then, I'm not sure if she's finished some of the other rooms, but some of them are still, pretty much how they were, pretty
disrepair.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool to look and see, what the other rooms look like. But
right,
man, we have had so many experiences there. It just one of my favorite places. I absolutely love it. And I was just talking about that I really would like to rent a few rooms with my group and just kind of take it over for a weekend.
Take over. Yeah. Oh, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, set up some cameras and just, hopefully nobody else, will be there.
Is there a favorite or most impactful experience that you can think of, experience or evidence that you've gathered at the Stanwood?
The craziest evidence that I can't figure it out. I mean, I really can't figure it out. I just can't understand how this could have happened. But we have an EVP of me talking to this woman in one of the rooms. My recorder is all set up. And all of a sudden, you hear a little girl say, "No!" Like she's making fun of us or something.
What?
And it sounds like there's a little girl standing next to us. We did not have any children on our investigation.
Right.
Stanwood, the hotel and saloon, is not near any houses at all. This is business area. Like I said, there's no children anywhere.
Well, and you didn't hear it, and it sounds like you didn't hear any of it.
We didn't hear any of it. These things were things we got on the recorder afterwards. Well, not only did we get that, we brought some toys along, and all of a sudden you hear a little girl say, and when we took the toys out of the bag, you hear a little girl say, "Look, toys!"
Oh my goodness.
Loud as you can imagine.
Wow.
Then it's like we hear like a woman say something like, "Oh, we have sinned." And then you hear like it almost sounds like a young boy say something. It was just unbelievable. I was like, I still can't explain it because I mean, seriously, I was dumbfounded because
to get something like that on audio that you didn't hear, but you guys brought toys.
And here,
it's referencing what you brought in that space and that time. That's pretty incredible. And by the way, keep your eyes right over here because I think I just saw something here, and the temperature must have just dropped at least 10 degrees around me. It's really cold in here right now, so keep your eyes over here.
Okay.
I thought I saw something, but I don't know if it was on the stairs, but something behind me here. It's really cold right now, and I'm feeling some energy. So keep your eyes behind me, or in. Hopefully, my microphone will pick up anything if we hear a little voice in here. In fact, the energy is feeling pretty strong right now. Hello. If anybody's here, say hello. That's really incredible when you can.
Yeah.
When you can have something that you brought, it wasn't something that was already there. You bring it in and to get it referenced like that. And I know people have had some similar type experiences with the attic here in the Walker Ames with toys and stuff like that. Which,
I was just going to say what was so incredible though. You get a lot of EVPs. It's like gravelly sounding, just like, things like this. This had no, this was a clear, concise voice.
Like clear as day, like they're standing there with you.
And that blew my mind. I have to say that really blew my mind because, for one thing, it just, it wasn't like your regular EVP. And then that's when I started thinking, okay, is this like another dimension kind of thing? Is something opening up?
Sure.
I'm not really a believer in things like that, but it was so clear. And
it made you question it.
Yeah, it really did. And it still does to this day. And Ross, it was really funny because that's the first time I met Ross was at an investigation at Stanwood Hotel and Saloon because Todd had invited him along to, witness it. And so we played that EVP for him. And I don't think he really believed that it was an EVP. I think he was just like, it's got to have been something else. It's got to have been kids out in the parking lot. I was like, there's no kids in the parking lot at 4:00 in the morning and at Stanwood Hotel and Saloon. So it was really funny because I think it was just a couple years ago. And he goes, June, he goes, I just wanted, that I know you. He's like, I wanted to ask you, what did you really think about that EVP you caught, with your old group? And I was like, I swear to God, to this day, I'm still perplexed of those EVPs, especially as clear as those children's voices are, everything else. And then a ghost going back there, like maybe 4 years ago or so with, me, because I was like, I got to go back again.
Yeah.
And getting another little girl voice that says, la, la, la.
That's
and it's
awesome.
just like, there's no children here.
Yeah.
What is going on?
How many times do they have to talk?
It's just unbelievable, but it's a really cool little place. It's a cool bar. It has lots of, bar food and drinks, and a lot of the locals go there, and everybody's really, really nice. But yeah.
But if you're going to investigate, don't mix your spirits up.
Yeah, don't do it. don't mix your spirits up, especially there. Yeah, because you never know.
That's incredible, and then having the other teams collect some very similar evidence as well. How do you think things could improve between teams to, you said you wish more teams would collaborate, and I'm on board with that totally. And I feel like in the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, I feel like that's a little bit more, it happens more than maybe other regions in the country.
I think so.
But how do you think, what's something that, we should all do as a field? Is it just being open to communicate with other people, realizing it's not a competition?
Right. That's the big thing right there. It's like my place. Well, I think we could even do it with the Walker Ames house. How many different teams from all over the place come to the Walker Ames house to investigate it? And, no one team can claim it as theirs anymore. It can be, basically shared. And I would love it sometime if, we can get together with other teams that have investigated it, and let's all share our evidence. I got that one disembodied voice of all of a sudden they all sound like a woman crying really loud, and they heard it with their own ears, like, and she's like, oh my God, it was up because Casey and Scarlett were in the yellow room, and you can hear it on the tape. It was plain as day. I mean, I thought, well, nobody would be crying like that on an investigation. So, it was like, and they both said, did you hear that? It sounds like crying.
So they disembodied. That's cool.
But they heard it with their own ears. So yeah.
Yeah. This is a perfect example. I have audio of me and my friend Scott Power from Olympic Peninsula Paranormal Society.
I love Scott.
Yeah. He works on Tuesday nights, or he'd have been on here already. But we were sitting on the stairs right up here, and we totally didn't hear this one. But I never quite knew what it was. But now that you say a woman crying and kind of bellowing out, that makes sense, because the woman in this audio goes like, "Whoa!"
That's almost exactly. I'm gonna send that to you.
Okay,
because
we'll have to
really
play
fun.
him on the show sometime here.
Seriously, yeah, I'm playing all the things.
That's a really great example of that.
Yeah.
And anybody listening out there, if you're on a team, do you collaborate with any other teams out there? I think that's a great thing. I know it's been talked about before here with the Walker Ames, and it's like, we would have to put together, a database. My beautiful wife, Molly, just commented, maybe you could just start a Facebook group page to share the evidence there. That's probably a really easy idea.
That would be fun.
Yeah, well, I'll think about that, and how to make
Load
that
my
happen.
7,000 pictures.
Yeah, that's that's an easy way, an easy place for people to start. It's a great idea. Thanks, Molly.
It is.
But I think Linda Myers, thanks for listening. Linda's from Team Ops, friend of the show. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I guess this place would be a great place to start with, and then you can kind of, we could branch out to other locations, maybe like the Turner Joy, or
seriously,
places where we know teams go a lot. The Stanwood, lots of different places. So, that's an interesting thing, and I hope that across the field there can be more collaboration, because I think, from a scientific standpoint, there's a lot of peer-to-peer collaboration, peer review in science, first of all. And so I think that's a really neat thing, and we'll see what we can do, because I think that would be great.
The jealousy and it just got to stop. It's like we're trying to further the paranormal into, advancing further and making it more scientific.
Right.
So it's more
hence accepted, hence more credible.
Yeah.
Yeah. More accepted. Exactly. And I think, if the field can advance in such a way, you'll start to see people in the medical profession, which I know you work in the medical field of, there's a lot of experiences in hospitals and hospice.
Especially when I work at the old hospital, and I get nurses, and they find out what I do, and they're like, "Oh, let me tell you something." And I hear their ghost stories, especially the ones that work, the night shift when everything's quiet.
If you're ever getting annoyed by that, just be thankful you're not a proctologist. So,
can you look at this?
You wouldn't believe. No. No, but you know what I mean, though? It's like across the board, it's, over the past 20 years with television shows and stuff, it's definitely so much more easy to talk about the paranormal field. It's very much more widely accepted, in certain areas in the U.S., it's not. And it's probably,
Mary's a great story.
Mary. Yep. She's from Team Ops. She's got a lot of great stories, including the, I just outed her.
That's so awesome.
But I think if we can advance it to a place where it's even more acceptable, I think the other side's going to appreciate that.
I think so too.
Linda, thank you. In radio shows like this, that's what we're trying.
I agree.
Have fun and educate about it. Sure. I'm all about that. But if more, I think spirits, the remnants of us, our family, the people on the other side, it might. I mean, who knows what can, I think how cool would it be if you could further the field with it being more accepted and more people open-minded about it, that it's easier to connect with your loved ones. that
Now,
are
if
gone.
you talk about something, about believing in ghosts, and you get the side eye. You either get the oh really? Let me share my stories, or I think I'm gonna go in the other room now. Like, oh, okay, weirdo.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
That
like I
that's
understand.
yeah, that's okay. And someday, if they haven't already, they'll have an experience
Mhm.
that they can't explain. I keep finding out more and more. People like in my grandparents' generation, the Depression era, um, were into a lot more spiritual stuff than I would have thought. But they just kept it secret.
Yeah,
They just
not
didn't. It
tell
wasn't.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't talk about it. But so the more open-minded people can be, the more you can share experiences and make other people comfortable to share their experiences or share their evidence that they've collected. It's only going to do good things, I think, for everybody. And
I agree.
we just got to get the ego out of it. And
Yeah, and that's pretty hard sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
myself included, it's a human thing. I'm not saying nobody. I don't think there are people out there who don't have an ego about it at all. It's
Mhm.
just, I don't know that that's humanly possible, but
Yeah.
there's ways that you can.
I have to watch myself sometime because I think what gets me though a lot of times is when we are called into investigating a place and we find out another group has investigated it before us,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden they've told the people that they have all these demons and everything else and they should move, and I try to keep an open mind with a lot of those things, but we go in, we find absolutely nothing, and everything and like this, and people were like, well, are you guys really professional, because the other group found 180, they were touched all those times and they were scratched down their back and they were almost thrown across the room. And I was like, well, it was pretty quiet when we did it. And it's like, why don't we try to come back again and see what we can get.
Yeah.
And, everything. But
well, in that case, you guys are kind of like second opinion.
yeah, we're a second opinion, but then this opinion must be wrong because we didn't get scratched or almost thrown across the room, and the psychic goes in with oh my god, I'm feeling like there's 366 demons that are waiting to kill you all. It's like, oh no.
Oh wow.
So I have to be careful with that because
Sure.
and not say anything bad about the team to the person, because it happens to be this team has been on several other places that have said the same thing to people, and it's just like, oh and good,
Sure. And that's if you can not say anything and like you haven't, that shows more professionalism.
You can't, and it's just like, and if you just say, wow, they who knows, they might have just
been at the right place at the right time.
Exactly. You can't you can't pinpoint things like that. And I know sometimes I do have to be a little more open-minded with things because I am really skeptical with a lot of things, but yeah, that's what I have to really watch it about, and just
and we all do. It's it's human nature to cast judgment.
Or it's like if I have a favorite place and I'm like, oh, I don't want that team going to that place,
Yeah.
Like
exactly. Well, I am exhausted, so I think we're going to wrap it up for the night.
I have that effect on a lot of people. No,
June, you psychic vampired me. No,
I know, I tried. I feel better.
Oh,
thanks, Pete.
Well, hell, at least I could help somebody here. No, June, I want to thank you so much for coming on.
I really love just visiting with you.
Yeah,
we're even on a show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I hope everyone's enjoying the conversations we have out there. I've got Clay Faulkner coming on next week. Awesome. And apparently he's casting a reading for me earlier in the day, and then he's going to be going over my reading live during the show. That will be interesting. And like I said before, I hope he doesn't go insane after that. Thank you very much, Linda Myers, for commenting there. And then I've got medium Sarah Lemos from the Ghost of Morgan City show. And she's got a really great story and a lot of really cool experiences. So we got a great rest of the month, but we started it off right this month with June from AGHOST. Make sure you go to aghost.org or spookedinseattle.com. Check out their upcoming public ghost hunt at the USS Turner Joy coming up, and the grand reopening of Spooked in Seattle this Saturday. Their new location on Yesler from 1 to 5. Go and see June's Barbie funeral.
Yes, it's pretty awesome.
Say hi to Mr. Creepy for me. And
I'll give you a little kiss.
Oh, thank you. But we'll be back right here on WLTK-DB.com and on YouTube and on Facebook at WLTK-DB. June, thanks again. And I leave every show with a toast. The past is history. The future is a mystery. But today is a gift because it's the present. Don't forget to take time each day to be in the present. Be now. Don't worry about tomorrow. Quit thinking about yesterday. Be in the now. You'll find that it'll really help you out. So take a moment each day to do that. Hug all the ones you're with now. Hug everyone else virtually for a little bit longer. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week on the Paranormal Pete Show. I'm your host, Pete Orbea, on Let's Talk Radio, WLTK-DB.com. Take care.
Bye.